hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning as Jamie becomes a bat mitzvah. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. And friends, I am Rabbi Rachel Miller here with Cantor Lauren Adesnik as Jamie gets ready to lead us in a beautiful service of prayer this Shabbat morning. So friends, take a moment in that Facebook feed to wish one another Shabbat Shalom. And while you're doing that, let me set the scene for you. If this is your first time joining us, you'll see that we have our Bat Mitzvah Jamie up on the bima with her wonderful parents. And socially distant and far away and masked are me and the cantor. And we also have a limited number of Jamie's close family here with us as well, and they are masked. And behind the scenes, you've got Stephen Blick on the sound and the computers, and Mark Feinberg working the cameras. At this time, you will see that the red Siddur is now pinned in your Facebook feed. If you're having trouble finding it, it's also on our Temple Emanu-El website. So, friends, pray along with us this morning. Join in, be an active participant in this prayer service, and we join back together in a little more. Hine ma tov.
Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. We can hear you at home. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Our service continues on page 5 as proud father Billy gets ready to present Jamie with her talit. And of course Randy too, but
Jamie, as this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth. As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and this holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
All right, Jamie, go ahead and recite that blessing over your talit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Beautiful. And for the joy of being able to reach this sacred day, this sacred occasion, we join together in words of Shechianu, the bottom of page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Amen.
Turn in our Siddur to page 6. And Jamie, you lead us in this prayer for becoming bat mitzvah.
God, be with me on this occasion of my bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire me in a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement, you who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Amen.
Amen.
And now on page 7, we prepare Jamie for Nasim B'chol Yom, our prayer for daily miracles. And there's a pattern to this. There's a way of these prayers that it reflects the ways in which we wake up in the morning. And it's a reminder to us that we have so many things that we can be grateful for. And some days, different parts of this prayer will speak to us, and we can tap into that. We can focus on just one. And even if we're reciting all of them, we have the opportunity to truly meditate on that one piece of this prayer that speaks to us. So I encourage everyone to, as Jamie leads us in this prayer, that while she's leading us into Hebrew, perhaps we take a little peek over at that English, and that we meditate on the part of the prayer that truly speaks to us this morning. Page 7. Go ahead, Jamie.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech vivina lavchen ben yom uven laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokei al chivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kufufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamihin mitzadeh gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'af koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir sheina me'ena utnumat me'afa pai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozir Yisrael bigvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otir Yisrael petifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
At this time, we turn in our Siddur to page 13 as Jamie leads us in this responsive prayer.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out the pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We turn to page 15 for our call to worship, the Baruchu. Please rise.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
page 15 here, Jamie, we get ready for our prayer Yotzer Or, this prayer for creation. And Jamie, it is part of our job, your job, as a Jewish adult to continue to be a co-creator with God. That perhaps God created this world in just that brief moment of time, 6 days planning, on Shabbat God rested, and yet we continue to be creators. And so Jamie, as you enter this Jewish adulthood, you continue that line of creation, both in the intellectual creativity and in the art that you may do. In any way that you can be creative, you become that co-creator with God. As we join together praying these words of Yotzer Or, page 15.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer Or uvarei choshech, Oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha v'rachamim, Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, Ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, Mala'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera leoro. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer ha'me'orot.
On page 16, our prayer, Ahava Rabbah, speaks of God's abundant love. And Jamie, the ways in which we discussed your views of God over our time studying together was quite profound. And I loved learning the different ways that you feel that you experience God in the world and continue to think through your theology and beliefs about God. And this prayer is a reminder to us that God is there for us, that when we think it through and reach ourselves out to God, that there is some sort of higher power in the universe that is ready to receive that love that we give, and that higher power is ready to give that love back down to us. So we once again join together in these words of Ahava Rabbah.
Ahava Rabbah ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu, Chemla gedola vitera chamalta aleinu, Va'avur avotenu v'imotenu, Shabbatchu v'cha, Vatlamdem chukei chayim, Ken techonenu utlamdenu. Hamrachem rachem alnenu, V'tein b'libenu, L'havin u'lahaskil, Lishmoa li'olmod u'lelamed, Lishmor v'la'asot u'lekayim, Et kol divrei, Talmud Toratecha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai, Havocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Page 18, we center ourselves feeling grounded as we declare God's oneness with words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. On page 18, this prayer Ve'ahavta. Jamie, if you look around your house, I think you'll find mezuzot. If you look around the entranceways to the synagogue, you'll find mezuzot. It's like the Jewish network that connects us all. It's that little symbol that says, hey, somebody like you lives here. And it's a reminder that when we walk into these holy walls, that they are just that, holy. That when we walk into our home with a mezuzah, when we walk into a synagogue with a mezuzah, that there's something special there, a holiness that we want to promote. And I know that you come from such a wonderful, beautiful, and loving home. And Jamie, one day you will have the chance to, God willing, create such a beautiful home as well. And this prayer of Ve'ahavta, it sits in the scrolls of those mezuzot. It is the scroll of the mezuzah that sits on those doors. And so as you chant these words for us, we are mindful of all the ways that we bring holiness into our life, both in our home, in our synagogue, and when we go about our way. Page 18, Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebcha u'b'chol nefshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevecha b'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ol al yadecha v'hayu letatafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Laman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yatem kedoshim le'Elohehem Ani Adonai Elohehem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eret Mitzrayim lehiyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Beautiful. And on page 19, we invite forward Brooke Foster to lead us in this responsive prayer as we get ready for Micha Mocha. Page 19.
You made us free.
You were in the courage with which
We overcame
40 years of desert
wandering.
Even today, you are in hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise
you,
you,
Adonai,
Adonai, Redeemer
Redeemer
of
of
Israel. Our song of redemption, our song of freedom, a song of rejoicing. Micha Mocha, page 20.
Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Clap your hands like this. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai. One more time. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Here comes the clap. Ya lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha ne'ezer b'kodesh. Torah tehillah oseh feleh. Torah tehillah oseh feleh. Adonai imo le'olam va'ed. Adonai imo le'olam va'ed. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Here's the clap. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Tzur Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufidechni umecha Yehuda be'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzevahot shemo, kedosh Yisrael, baruch ata Adonai, ga'al Yisrael.
Friends, we turn to page 21, and we rise for our central standing prayer, our Amidah, our Tefillah, which in these words that begin with our Avot ve'imahot, they connect us, Jamie, to all of those generations way back, way back, way back. And we have the chance to think of the generations present now and the generations that will come in future years. Page 21, we join together.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shema V'yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asirim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Nichamucha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat al hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
At this time, it's my pleasure to invite forward Gail Skolsky and Robin also to lead us in the responsive reading on page 23.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness
This when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is
Holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There
There
is
is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
beautiful. Thank you. We continue in words of Kedusha, page 24.
לקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גוד לך. Repeat after me. לדור ודור, נגיד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גוד לך. ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ותברך אלוהינו, בפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. Here comes your part. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גוד לך. כי המלך Gadol v'kadosh ata, ki hamelech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
From the middle of page 25, Jamie, you lead us in this responsive reading.
From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is the symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength, and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope,
The calm haven where all the weary find rest.
with the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Our prayer for Shabbat, Yismechu, page 26. Please be seated.
Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Join with us, Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Oh, Mekadoshei, Mekadoshei Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yismechu. Shabbat. Here we go. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. V'mashvir atzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. And Ad Yavim, Karata Shabbat. Let's hear you. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Zecher, 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 L'ma'aseh v'reishit Shabbat. Zecher l'ma'aseh, L'ma'aseh v'reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat Bikurei, Oneg Shabbat.
Page 27, we invite forward Rebecca Rochester to lead us in this responsive prayer.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. Our thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. Page 28, Lauren and Lori Foster, we invite you to please come on forward to lead us in this responsive prayer.
God, we know there's no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war,
bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God,
To bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it.
and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. Thank you so much. Page 28, our prayer for peace, a prayer of healing and calm, mercy, love, and grace. Sim Shalom, page 28.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha.
At this time, we take a few moments. Perhaps we want to flutter our eyes closed as we turn inward for those silent prayers, those meditations of our heart. And we call out to the world in all of the ways in which we pray. We take a few moments for those prayers.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. May there be an abundant peace settling over us, over Israel, over the entire world. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim le'olam. Shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim le'olam. tasim leolam, tasim leolam.
Page 31, Randy and Billy. Now is this wonderful time to offer your first parents' blessing.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of the holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness. A Jewish home opens its heart, and its link to generations is proclaimed. Today, a child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Amen.
Amen.
Hug, hug, kiss, kiss. Page 32, we've been building up in this service. Coming to this high point with our Torah service, we rise for Ki Mitzion at the bottom of the page.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Udvar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael V'kedushato.
All right, Billy, now is that time to pick up the Torah. And you'll just hold on to it for a moment here. Go ahead and hold it nice and comfy. Yep, there you go. And in just a moment, Jamie, what's going to happen is your mom is going to hug and kiss the Torah, and then in a few moments it'll be passed to you. And it's not just your parents, though, it's your grandparents who are passing you this Torah. It's Gail and David, it's Judith Samuels, and of course, in loving memory, Norman Stoyer. And beyond them are their parents, and beyond them, their parents. And we imagine all of the generations, Jamie, that had to exist so that you could be here on this day. And I know for your parents, this is likely a bittersweet moment, as you are the final daughter to receive the Torah in this special, special way. So at this moment in time, Billy, I'll have you sort of pass to Randy for a hug and a kiss. And then, Jamie, you will take the weight of that Torah. And you'll hold it strong. It's a little heavy because, you know, the weight of the Jewish people. It's a lot of history to hold. And you are strong. And we love giving you this opportunity to stand strong with the history of our people wrapped up in that Torah. Page 33, continue declaring God's oneness once more. Words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Unromeva Shemo Yachtav. And now the Stoyer family can undress the Torah. Lecha Adonai hagedula, v'hagevura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach, v'hahod. Ki hu v'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki hu v'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai amelacha, v'havid na'aseh, lechol erod.
didn't even have to go into Roman. Very good. All right, friends, please be seated. That's some speedy Torah undressing, you guys. Well done.
Right.
Well done. So, friends, for our Torah reading this morning, you'll notice that the scroll is about halfway through. Although technically we're in the book of Genesis, on this Shabbat we have gone ahead and rolled back, or perhaps rolled forward, to the book of Numbers, to Parshat Shalach Lecha, the Torah reading that due to the pandemic, Jamie was unable to chant from the streets of Jerusalem, and so she will instead bring that energy to us chanting from the sanctuary of Temple Emanu-El, making us all so very proud this morning.
For the honor of our first Aliyah, we call up to the bima, the microphones, Robin Skolsky, Misha Reback, Ann Friedlander, and Doug Friedlander. Ya'amdu, Rivka Masha, Bat Chana Rachel v'David, Chana Bat Velva v'Rut, Yakon ben Israel Moshe, la'aliyah LaTorah.
Adonai Hamvarach,
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaya'alu, vayaturu et haaretz, mimid bartzin, ad rechov levo chamad. Vaya'alu, vanegev, vayavo ad Hebron, vesham ahiman, sheshai v'tamai, yalidei hanak, v'Hebron. Sheva shanim nivnata, livnei tzoan mitzrayim. Vayavo u ad nachal eshkol, v'ichratu misham zamora, v'eshkol anavim echad, v'yisa'uhu v'amo b'shnayim, umin harimonim, umin hata'enim. Lamakom hahu kara nachal eshkol, al odot ha'eshkol, asher kartu misham b'nei Yisrael.
Yasher Koach. Alrighty.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Air hugs and kisses for Jamie. And we call up for our second Aliyah, Judy Samuels, David Skolsky, and Claire Holtzford. Ya'amdu, Chayavat Mordechai, David Yosef, and Gershon V'Kaveler, la'aliyah LaTorah.
Let's go.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher
Mikol Ha'avim.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Olam Asher K'nson.
Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
I think we got all the words in.
I think so too. Alrighty, Miss Jamie.
Amen. Vayashivu mitor haaretz, miketz arba'im yom. Vayalechu v'vo'u el Moshe v'el Aharon v'el kol adat b'nei Yisrael el midbar paran kadesha vayashivu otam davar v'kol ha'edah vayar'um et pri haaretz vayasiparu lo v'yomeru ba'anu el haaretz asher shelchtanu v'gam zevat chalav udevash he v'zer pirya.
Yasher Koach. Alright, and we'll hear the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'chochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Air hugs and kisses for Jamie. And you can be seated as we call up to the Bima proud mom and dad and sisters Marley and Lindsay. Ya'amdu Ahuva bat David v'Chana Rachel, Mechel ben Nachman, Shoshana bat Mechel ve'Ahuva, Lina bat Mechel ve'Ahuva la'aliyah Torah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Havarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Amen. Efes kiaz ha'am hayoshev be'eret be'ha'arim, betzurot gedolot me'od, v'gam yalidei ha'anak ra'inu sham. Amalek yoshev be'eret ha'negev, v'ha'cheti, v'vosi v'ha'emori yoshev bahar, v'ha'kani yoshev el hayam, v'el yad ha'yarden. V'yahas Kalev et ha'am el Moshe, v'yomer alo nole, v'yarashnu ota, ki achunu la.
Asher Koah.
Beautiful.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful hugs for Jamie. And Jamie, just like we practiced, you're going to have a quick seat. Very good. Don't worry, Mom and Dad are watching the Torah. And so here is another one of those moments, my dear, that we have been moving toward not only all morning, but really since you were born. And this is the moment that you will ascend, literally aliyah, and you have that word in your Torah portion quite a few times, ya'alu, right? They went up. Well, you, my dear, are going up, ascending into becoming a beautiful bat mitzvah. And as you demonstrate that to us physically by walking up from your seat to the Torah, you also are really moving, I say, to a deeper and also a higher spiritual level. You're really elevating yourself. And in elevating yourself to that next level, you elevate not only everybody in this room, but everybody in the entire world. We are all elevated today because of you and because of your commitment to your Judaism and your heritage. So it is my pleasure to call you forward now as an official bat mitzvah. You can ascend to the Torah. Tamud habachura bat mitzvah, Miriam bat Mechel ve'ahuva, la'aliyah Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'he'anashim asher alu imo imru lo nuchal la'alot el ha'am ki chazak hi mimenu v'yotzeu dibat ha'aretz asher taru ota el bnei Yisrael le'mor ha'aretz asher avarnu va la'tor ota eretz ochelet yosheveya hi v'chol ha'am asher ra'inu v'tocha anashe mido v'sham ra'inu et hanefilim b'nei Enoch min hanefilim v'nei he be'einenu kahagvim v'chan hayinu be'eineihem.
Yasher Koah. Go ahead and do the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu et Torah emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful.
Beautiful, Jamie. Wow, 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 wow. So with the Torah in our midst, it's a special time to get to offer you a blessing, a mishaberach for your continued spiritual growth from this day moving forward. Page 35. Mishaberach avotinu v'imotinu, Avraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et Miriam bat Mechel ve'ahuva, shehigia lemitzvot v'alta laTorah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmareha v'chayeha v'chonen et libach l'hiot shalem im Adonai Elohecha, lahagot b'torato, lalechet bidrachav, v'lishmor mitzvotav, v'timtza chen v'seichel tov b'einei Elohim v'adam v'nomar. Amen.
Amen.
Which all means, may God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Jamie. For you have come for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and before all people. And together, let us say, Amen. All right, friends, so we will begin to conclude our Torah service by turning to page 39. And so, Billy, you can go ahead and roll that Torah, or Randy, roll that Torah closed. Please rise.
Do we have Devar Torah?
Oh, did I go out of order?
That's okay. We can do this.
Do it. We'll cover it, and then we'll bless it later.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, my bad. Went out of order. You may be seated. The Torah technically won't move, but it's okay. We'll go back. Thank you, Cantor. So now, before we conclude the Torah service, what's actually happening is Jamie has put together a beautiful lesson for us, a beautiful Devar Torah, and now is the time for her to share that with all of us. So Mom and Dad, you guys can feel free to be seated as she shares these words with us.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Shlach Lecha from the book of Numbers. In my Torah portion, God instructs Moses to send 12 spies to explore the land of Israel. Moses instructs the 12 spies to see if the land is fertile or lean, good or bad, and if the people are strong or weak. The spies return after 40 days of exploration. They return with a huge cluster of grapes, pomegranates, and figs. The scouts tell the people, "We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and this is its fruit, but we saw giants there." According to the Israeli scholar Nechama Leibowitz, their sin was creating fear within the community. To me, this means that if you think in your head that you can't do something, you won't be able to do it. The Israelites thought to themselves that they were too small and couldn't take over the land. They had a negative mindset, so they didn't want to try to enter the land. Psychologist Fromm observes that low self-esteem affects the ability to love others, and the sin of the scouts grows from the failure of self-respect. The 10 scouts failed in self-respect because they thought badly of themselves. They said that they were too small, like grasshoppers, to conquer the giants. Joshua and Caleb did not see themselves as grasshoppers, but they felt worthy of entering the promised land. The people were scared and did not want to fight the communities living in the land because they had worked so hard to get out of Egypt. They were afraid that they would get killed or become slaves again, but Joshua and Caleb believed in God and said that God would not send them there if he did not think that they could succeed. Because Joshua and Caleb were loyal and believed in themselves, God brought them into the land of milk and honey. There are so many valuable lessons in my Torah portion. The one that speaks to me is to be loyal. We should try to be loyal to God because I believe that God knows what the future holds and what will be bestowed to us. We have control of the smaller details in our life, but I think that God truly knows and has control of the journey and where it will take us. We should try to have trust in God no matter the situation and how hard it gets. God created this world, and it is important to respect God for that. God also instructed the Israelites to treat everyone equally. He told them not to turn anyone away from the land of Israel. We should be loyal to everyone. We do not know what someone is facing, so it is important to be kind and loyal to everyone. We should strive to remember that some people don't have anybody to turn to, so it is important to let them into our lives and be there for them. An example of this is how my family welcomes people into our home for many of the Jewish holidays. We welcome family and friends and often invite someone who has nowhere to go. This makes me feel good that we are respecting God's wishes by being loyal and by supporting other people in our lives. Maturing into a bat mitzvah means that I am now a Jewish adult. To me, this means I have more responsibilities and I should care for others in my community more. I plan on joining a synagogue close to my community when I'm older because I think going to services and worshiping God is an important part of Judaism. To celebrate the Jewish holidays, I plan on continuing the tradition of hosting all of our family and friends over to our house. I love the high holidays because this is when all of us come together and have fun and eat lots of amazing food. The most important Jewish values to me are visiting the sick, giving tzedakah, and being kind. The Torah says to treat everyone the way you want to be treated, the golden rule. If everybody followed this rule, the world would be a much happier place. I try to practice this rule every day, no matter if I'm at home, at school, or just walking around my neighborhood. I will continue following this rule no matter how old I am. The state of Israel is very important to me. It is our homeland. Israel is important to me because I feel that it is a safe place where you can go and practice Judaism. I was supposed to have my bat mitzvah in Israel, so I cannot wait to go when the pandemic is over. I am so excited to hopefully go with my 8th grade class at Davis. I would also like to go when I have a family of my own. I want everyone to see that Israel is a place with many cultures, not just the Jewish religion. For my mitzvah project, my family and I have been putting together lunches for kids and adults who don't have access to a healthy lunch. Many of these people live in our own community. It makes me feel so good because I get to see their faces light up as we hand them their lunch. This is something I want to continue throughout my adult life. We have also been making these lunches for the women at Mary Hall Freedom House. I think that it is so important to give back to the community. This can relate to my Torah portion because God gave back to Joshua and Caleb by letting them into the land. They trusted God, so God returned the favor. I would like to say thank you to all of my friends and families for supporting me through the process of my bat mitzvah. Although I was supposed to be standing in Israel, I'm thankful that my family is here with me now and everyone else is watching on Zoom. I would also like to thank Rabbi Rachel and Cantor Desnick for all your guidance and help along the way. Mr. Weismark, thank you so much for all your support while teaching me all I need to know for today. Thank you for being patient with me when I couldn't quite get my trope right. Thank you to all of my aunts and uncles who I know are always here for me. I love you. Grammy, you are always so much fun and always ready for an adventure. I love you. Papa, I always love whenever you come over and I love your creativity. I love you. Me, Mom, you have taught me so much from early on. You're always trying to teach me something every time you would come over. I love you so much. Marley, thank you for always being such a supportive and loving big sister. I know that whenever I need a hug, you'll always be there for me. I get so excited whenever you ask me if I'll go get food, go to Target, or just drive around with you, even though I don't always love your music. I love you so much. Lindsay, thank you for all your love and happiness. Whenever you walk into my room, my mood automatically goes up. I love our sleepovers, walks, making cookies together, and everything else. I know you will always have my back no matter what. Lastly, Mom and Dad. Mom, thank you so much for always doing anything and everything for me. I can always count on you to be ready with a batch of warm cookies and a big hug whenever I'm sad. I'm so lucky to have you as a mom. Thank you for always helping me with anything I'm struggling with. I always enjoy our 12 a.m. online shopping sprees, car rides to school, baking together, and everything in between. You're the best mom in the whole world. I love you. Dad, thank you for all of your dad jokes that aren't really that funny, love, and support. Thank you for always playing basketball, soccer, and jumping on the trampoline with me. I love going grocery shopping with you because you always let me pick out the snacks Mom would never let me get. You're always so supportive of me. You're my biggest hero. Thank you all so much for being here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful, beautiful words of Torah. And so at this time, now, am I in the right mind? Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Now we turn to page 39 Mom and Dad, come on back up. Everybody, please rise. Now we formally, with these beautiful words of Torah on our hearts and on our minds, we conclude our Torah service. The bottom of the page, Eitz Chaim Hi.
Eitz Chaim Hi, Lamachazikim Ba, V'tomecheha Meushar, D'racheha Darchei Noam, V'chol Netivoteha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated. Jamie, a few words of blessing for you. I don't know about anybody else. My cheeks hurt from smiling really, you can't see it, but smiling really big throughout this service. You have just led us so confidently and beautifully. And I loved that, like, every time you finished an Aliyah, you just had this big smile on your face. And especially the fourth Aliyah, I could tell you were like, yeah, I did this. I rocked it. And you did. And you read so beautifully. You have guided us so wonderfully in this service. And as we studied together, it was so great to have you and, of course, your mom just right by your side as that loving, loving house that you have that has been here with you throughout it all. And you said it so beautifully in your thank you section when just the love, it pours out of you to your family and to your friends. And anyone, Jamie, who gets to call you a friend is truly blessed. You taught us about loyalty and about faith. And those are some of the most wonderful gifts that you can give to other people and that they can receive from you. And so as you continue to grow up into this amazing and sweet and loyal and kind young woman, continue to bring that. Be that loyal friend who sticks with people no matter what. Be that kind person. People are always looking for that kind person in a room. And so be that light, be that spark for everybody. And continue to bring abundant love to your family, to your sisters, to your mom, to your dad, to everybody. And the whole world will be blessed because of it.
So Jamie, I've been waiting for this day. I knew it was going to come. And I feel so lucky that I've gotten to just be a part of watching you grow into this beautiful, young, mature Jewish woman. And my favorite time about our time together were and I never really felt like we were on camera. I always felt like I was in the same room with you and your mom, and the amazing bubbly giggles that would come out of both of you. It was so wonderful. It always just like was a highlight for my day. And I think it says something about not only the love that you have for each other, but this, the passion and the excitement that you brought to your bat mitzvah. And, especially in this time when just a few months before you were going to fly off to Israel, the whole world changed. And you just went with it. You showed this amazing calm and steadfastness and maturity and just kept going like you weren't fazed at all, and you brought this amazing sense of bubbly joy to it. So as you move forward in these next steps and years as a bat mitzvah, keep bringing that joy, keep bringing that laughter. It's so special, and share it with the world around you, and you will continue to lift everybody up. Mazel tov.
And so now we offer you once more the priestly benediction, calling God into this space.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you safe always.
Yair Adonai panav v'lecha v'chunaka.
May the light of God shine down upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
Jamie, everywhere you go, may you feel that loving hug, like the one your dad is giving you right now, that it holds you up. May you find the godliness in others as they extend those hugs, and may you be strengthened and find peace. And together we all say, Amen. All right, Billy and Randy, now is your time to share a blessing for Jamie.
Before I begin, I just want to thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for making this so special. You really made it exceptional. Thank you.
Of course.
Jamie, I thought it was going to be so easy to write this speech since you are so good, so kind, so everything a parent dreams about. But every time I sat down at my computer, I found it challenging to put this into words. So whatever we say, it's a million times more. Jamie, JJ, sweet girl, Miriam, we are so proud of you, but more importantly, we hope you are proud of yourself. I hope that you will always remember this day and your accomplishment with love and appreciation amidst all of the uncertainty in this world. Miriam, your Hebrew name, it is so special. As you know, my grandmother and your great-grandmother Bubby was one of the greatest and most special influences in my life. She was exceptionally kind, good, thoughtful, and considerate, all characteristics that you possess. Bubby gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, she was kind to everyone, and she treated everyone with respect. How interesting that this is one of the points you discussed in your Devar Torah today. As a family, this is so important to us. I love that it is one of the lessons you chose to explain, and it is one that you choose to live by. Bubby would be so proud of the beautiful, kind, sweet person that you are. It is the greatest honor to be named after such an incredible human being, and I truly believe it is no coincidence.
JJ, first I just want to say, while you're getting close, I want to thank you for not being taller than me at 13. Jamie, you complete our family of 5. You are the perfect blend of happy, cute, mature, silly, sporty, trendy, fun, serious, occasionally, responsible, loyal, helpful, and pretty much everything good. I love that I can count on you to try many sports and even let me coach you over the years. Looking back, though, I think that was only to get me to buy you the coolest shoes and jerseys. Regardless, I do love watching you play games and watching the games with you on TV. This special day marks the beginning of your journey as a Jewish adult. This task was a big one, and it should be. This is considered your rite of passage into the Jewish adulthood. You handle the preparation and uncommon collaboration with the Cantor and rabbis head on. You are undoubtedly ready. Although we know you're relieved to be through practicing for this day, our wish for you is that you keep searching, keep growing, and keep being yourself as you take your place in the Jewish community and finding things that make you happy. Jamie, in one of your prayers today, you asked Hashem not to solve your problems or make your life easy, but instead give you the strength to see your way through it all. Please know that you possess that strength. It's already in you. One of my favorite parts of this bat mitzvah process was listening to how your Davis teachers, past and present, described you. While I did expect to hear all the great adjectives like hardworking, kind, good friend, etc., what made me the proudest was how you made your teachers feel, how they described your respect for them, sincerity, caring, and more. This, along with what your friends so cheerfully say about you, tells me your head and heart are in the right place.
Jamie, when I look at you, I see the kindest and sweetest heart. I appreciate your thoughtfulness, your care, and your sensitivity to different situations. You always have something nice to say about everyone. The relationship you have with your sisters is my greatest pleasure. Hearing you three laugh and talk and whatever else makes my heart so happy. You're so good to your sisters, and I know they adore you. Always treasure them and know that they are your forever friends. We hope you always stay as sweet and kind as you are. I know you will. We hope you always feel the love that Daddy and I and your sisters and everyone who knows you have for you. We hope you are always comfortable in your own skin and that you will stand up for whatever you believe is right, no matter what others say or do. Always listen to your heart. You know what is right. We hope you believe in yourself to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life. And most of all, we hope you know how very much you are loved, appreciated, and admired. We love you.
Oh, hug, hug, kiss, kiss. And at this time, we begin to conclude our service. And so, Marley and Lindsay, if you will join the family as you guys head up to the Ark, we'll invite you to open it as the congregation. Please rise. We're on page 40 for Aleinu Lishabeach.
Aleinu Lishabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר, וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Go ahead and close the ark. And please be seated, and the whole family gather around the amudim, the podiums. As we prepare for Mourner's Kaddish Yatom, the day would not be complete if we didn't call to mind the memories of loved ones who we know are here, who we feel their presence as they look down upon this beautiful family, smiling, so big and so proud. So we call to memory Norman Stoyer, Louis Samuels, Miriam Sandlofer, and Michael Sandlofer. If at this time you are in a period of Shiv'ah, the first week of mourning, the loss of a loved one, we invite you to please rise in your place. If you're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, we invite you to please rise in your place. If you are in Yud Bet, the first year mourning the loss of a loved one, we invite you to rise in your place. And if on this Shabbat you are commemorating the death anniversary, the yahrzeit of a loved one, we invite you to rise in your place. And finally, if it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, we invite you to do so now as we join together in these words on page 41. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach ve'olam u'amei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh, v'yitkadar v'yitzaleh v'yithalal, shemei d'kudusha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen.
Oseh shalom ושלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen.
All right, Stoyer family, if you'll slide a little bit that way, we will transition with words of Vishamru as you guys pass around the Kiddush cups. And of course, Jamie, you get the big one, okay?
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Raise your glasses nice and high. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Take a drink.
All right, and then thank you so much for our little challahs too. But go
This is
ahead
so
and
much
take
fun.
the covering off so that we can do our blessing.
Hold the challah nice and high. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Sivan tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, sivan tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, sivan tov, mazel tov, sivan tov. Yehelanu, 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 u'b'cho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, u'b'cho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, u'b'cho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, u'b'cho Yisrael. Mazel
Mazel
tov.
tov. Shabbat shalom, everyone.